First of the year, baby. Let's go. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Slow it down. Yeah. 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 What's up, y'all? We're gonna get into something different tonight. What's up, y'all? Hump Day Wednesday, first of the year. Okay, we are good. I was distracted by something. When we are here, we get this clear. Yeah, everything's gonna be all right. They think it ain't what it is. How y'all feeling? We're going to talk about getting some jobs tonight. And that's whether you are out of work or been working. It's always good to know how to find a job. You never know when you might be on an unemployment line. Well, tonight I'm gonna show y'all what I know, at least some of it. So let's go. Hit the like button, y'all. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Daily Go Get a Business show all up in your area. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to 2025. And we did do a show last night. So technically, we started 2025 last night, but officially, it has already been Wednesday. Wednesday is already come and go, but for our purposes, it's still Wednesday, the first of the year, the first of the month, the first day of it all. Actually, like the first day of your life. So normally, y'all know the kind of stuff we talk about. We talk about love. We talk about friendship. We talk about We talk about work. We talk about school. We talk about family. We talk about Snickers. We talk about hers. We talk about Lay's. We talk about Tyson. We talk about Purdue. But I figured tonight we would do a little different, and I would actually try to extend a hand to some people and talk about how to do good in an interview and how to find a job. A lot of people really need this information, and it is something that I know a lot about. I've been a manager at various jobs. Basically, my whole adult life, I've always been in management. So I've had to hire people, I've had to fire people, I've had to instruct people, I've had to train people, and I've had to evaluate talent. I've had to do yearly, what they call it, yearly evaluations, which can impact your bottom line going forward as far as getting your annual raises and things like that. So I figured let's talk about that tonight. We're changing regime as far as what do you call it? The presidential administration, as far as that's concerned. Now we are dealing with a president who claims that he can get us all of these jobs. All of these jobs are going to be open up, build, baby, build, and all this old crazy stuff. But from what I know, and like I said, we're talking about, let's see, I'm 54 years old. I've been a manager at my jobs since I was 23, just straight coming out of college. I've been in manager. I've never not been in managerial. So whether I've always been a supervisor or a manager, and I still am. So that's what we're talking about tonight. How to do well in interviews and how to get the job that you want. I think that I can probably instruct you on how to get this done. Let me say what's up to all of my people. Yeah, T Carry, right? Morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peepers going directly into your site. And Cheryl Halsey, what's going on, How you feeling? Always great to see you. And Happy New Year to you. And someone random, what up? And Jackson, what's good? Alex, Karen Bateman, Retag, Ricardo, Spade the Cat, Dr. John, Clarvita Brooks. I wish y'all could put me on to something. What does said hi mean? What does said hi mean? I'm seeing that a lot in the chat rooms. Like what does that mean? Why what's with the said part? It sounds past tense to me. Said hi. What is said hi? Yeah. I mean, it may be nothing, or maybe you're saying that your name, and maybe you're speaking third person, like instead of saying I said hi or hi, you're saying like Retag says hi, but Ricardo's is like Ricardo said hi. You know what? Let me look this up because there might be some information about that on Google. Let me see. What does said hi mean in YouTube chats? Oh. Okay, said hi in the YouTube chat simply means that someone has greeted the streamer or other viewers by typing hi in the chat. Essentially, just saying hello to acknowledge their presence in the live stream. But I see something that says this phrase is often used by people who are leaving the group chats like some social media, but it can also be used by people who are simply saying hello to everyone in the group. It is a friendly way to greet everyone and to show that you are thinking of them. Okay, because I'm seeing that a lot. I was wondering, what do you mean you said hi? What do you mean? And Clarvita Brooks said hi. Okay, all right, I'm on it. Dr. John Sturgis, that's what's up. Okay, so what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show is how to do well in interviews and how to get a job that you want. Simple as that. How to do well in the interview and how to get a job that you want. Now, This can help you whether you are actively looking for a job right now, or whether you were looking for a job before, or maybe you were thinking about quitting your job, or changing jobs, or even adding on another job, like maybe getting a part-time position somewhere, whatever. But it's always good to be able to know how to get a job, because looking for a job in and of itself is a job. Looking for a job in and of itself is a job itself, and it can be exhausting. It can be discouraging. When you're looking for a job and you really need the money, or you're looking for a better position, maybe the job that you are working at currently is unfulfilling, and maybe it's just something that doesn't do a lot for you, and you want to be able to get a job that has a better working environment, maybe better working conditions, maybe better pay. That's always my number one goal. I need more money. A lot of people work at jobs and they say that those jobs give them some type of fulfillment other than the pay. I've heard plenty of people say that, like, the money is one thing, but I really feel like I'm helping out with the job that I'm doing. And that's fine. For me, all I care about is money. I swear to God. Because and the reason that I look at it like that is because I have to ask myself, would I come into this place for free? If they weren't paying me, would I volunteer here? And the answer is always a resounding no for me. Now, for you, it might be different, but nonetheless, just because you want a job and just because you're passionate about your field of work does not necessarily mean that you will be hired to do the job. So let's start out with this. Let's start out with the goal in mind that all industries and all jobs have for you. All jobs that hire anyone are interested in making money. So you are the talent. Let's get that straight. Number one, when jobs are hiring or looking for people to work at that place of business, they are looking for the best person who will help them make money. That is their goal. That's their number one goal. That's their only goal. So the fact that you need money, you need a job, you have children, you have bills to pay, you just bought a house or a car or something like that, it does not matter to the employer that you are going to. And if they tell you anything different, they're just capping you up or whatever, but they're looking at you to be able to make them money. Every job that hires people have positions open because they have budgets that are designed for a certain amount of people to work in that area, in that space, in that group, in that office, on that site. And when one of those people or some of those people are missing for those sites, they have to fill them in because they cannot, by the numbers that they have devised, they cannot make money in that area being deficient. What up, Matthew Wilson? So when people don't come to work and you think that is no big deal, it actually is a big deal to jobs. And that's why after a certain amount of absences, that's why they let you go, because you are directly impacting their bottom line. When you are not there, they have to get somebody else to fill in for your position, which makes them have to spend more money. So you cost them more when you don't come to work. And in your mind, not understanding that, you might be thinking that, well, I didn't come to work, so you didn't have to pay me. So, you're actually keeping money. That's not the way it works. You are the talent. They make more money when you come to work than when you stay home. That's the way that the actuaries who have designed and calculated how many people need to work in order for them to make a certain amount of money. Everything is mathematical. Everything is budgeted, all the way down to the kind of pens, pencils, those little notepads with those sticky, those little pads, those little paper pads that you can stick on the Post-its, all the way down to the Post-its. Everything is budgeted. So it's important for you to understand that, because when you understand that you are the talent, it shouldn't make you arrogant. It shouldn't make you egotistical, and it shouldn't make you overconfident, but it should let you know that your presentation in interviews, well, starting all the way from the application process, you want to make sure that you make yourself visible and attractive to whoever looks at the resume or the application and whoever is going to interview you. That is your chance to showcase your talent before you actually go on a job, get hired for a job, and start working, where you will really showcase your talents. But you are the talent. They are not giving out jobs because the community needs it. They don't care. They're not paid to care. It shouldn't make you, discouraged or pissed off that businesses don't care about communities or children or women or babies or the environment. They don't care. They care about the money. And once you understand what somebody else's motivation is, in this particular case, we're talking about business, you can start to work within that framework. Okay. All right. With that being said, all right. So let's start at the application process. At the application process, this is what you should know. You should know what you can do and what you are talking about. So, because these are the things that are going to go on the application. One of the main things that you need to understand about a job application is that it's important. And and also that they have maybe thousands of applications that they have to look at, or that may come across their desk or in their email. So what is going to make your application, your job application, stand out amongst the others? Now, this isn't like back in the day. Back in the day, the job application was more important than the resume, because not everybody had a resume, and you were looking for jobs in person. So you would go from job to job. A lot of people would put on their good clothes, a business suit, or business attire, and actively knock on doors, ask receptionists or what they call administrative assistants, hey, are y'all hiring? Are y'all accepting applications? And if the answer was yes, then they would show you where you can fill out an application. This is all before the internet. They would show you where you can fill out an application, and then they would have you go and fill out the application. And some jobs will give you an interview on the spot, and other jobs would accept your application and then get back with you later. So, with that being said, what would you put on your application, on a job application, that would make your application stand out over Joe Blow's and Maurice Spice and Janet Jackson and I don't know, The Weeknd? What your application contain that might make it stand out? Okay, here are some of the things you can do to make your job application stand out. Answer every last question on the interview. I'm sorry, on the application. Don't leave anything blank. Nothing. Not one thing. So in the cases where you may not, where things may not apply to you, you may be thinking, well, I'll just leave it blank because that doesn't apply to me. Like, let's say where it asks your veteran status and you're not a veteran. So, the right answer would be you just check off, no, I'm not a veteran. But let's say if it's a different thing, let's not use the veteran thing. Let's say if it asks what college you went to and you didn't go to college. Okay. Now it's going to ask you what high school you graduated from. Most jobs require a high school diploma. Not all jobs do, but most jobs require a high school diploma. So if you didn't go to college, you still leave those fields filled in. Now you don't write anything in there. You just put a dash, a hyphen, like on your keyboard, okay, on your phone, if you're filling out an application on your phone, let's see. No. Okay. The hyphen on an Android is over the Z, or on the Samsung Android over the Z. So it's simply it's simply a hyphen, like the little dash that you would put when a name is hyphenated. Like if a woman who is carrying two last names, like let's say her last name is Cole, and Cole, Cole, and Jackson. So it would be Cole dash Jackson. That's what you put in the blanks. So don't leave anything blank. And the reason that you don't want to leave anything blank is because people who don't know this will not know not to leave anything blank. When you make sure that you filled out everything on the application, your application is going to stand out from everybody else's because they see how thoroughly you have read the application and how thoroughly you have filled out the application. So what are they thinking now? Like, wait a minute. This person right here, Omar or Wisdom or Matthew Wilson or Clarvita, they're going to say, pull this application. Let's give this person a call. Let's write them an email. Let's see what this is hitting for. Because most people were just trying to get the application filled out. They're leaving up they're misspelling words. They are leaving areas blank and all of that. Make sure that you don't misspell words. It's not okay. If you don't know the right way to spell something, don't use the word, or look up the word so you can actually use the right words, because things like misspelled words and bad punctuation and things like that do not get excused on a job application. They don't. They get scrutinized hard. Just like if you were writing an English paper or a research paper or whatever, no, your punctuation, your spelling has to be correct. So make sure that it is. I would suggest not using words that you don't know the meaning to, because you can mess around and use things out of context or whatever. So you don't have to seem extra smart. You need to sound extra thorough, because it's just the job application. You're trying to get to the next step, which is the job interview. What's going on, Wisdom? How you feeling? And Omar. And even Crazy Steve has come back. He's climbed back in. Welcome to 2025. Happy New Year, all of you. All of you. Wisdom says, good morning, son. Looking for quality jobs like high pay is most important, but that should be balanced with less stress or micromanagement. I can stay out of a job for many months until I find a quality job. That's true. So I say just pick the jobs that you want to actually work at. But you have to still know how to get the job that you want, because the job is not going to want you. They're not going to come out and find you. You have to go out and find the job. So we're actually going to spend some time finding out ways you can find out if a job is a good fit for you. We're going to talk about that and some techniques that you can use in the interview process that will make you get to know the job itself. I'm going to show you some things and some ways where you can interview the job. Like I said, I've been a manager for years. I do this. I hire, I fire. I evaluate, I train. I know what I'm doing. I'm good at it, and I can show you how to do it. So because so many people I've read over countless resumes and job applications, and I'm thinking you can see how good it is out here or how bad it is out here. And it's bad. It is. So I'll share some of those stories with y'all too. Omar says this thing is a hyphen. That's a hyphen. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Omar says, honestly, spell check should make it so that you should have zero errors. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know to do that. They just don't know. I mean, how can you not know? That's what I'm thinking. And that's probably what you're thinking too, Omar. But they don't. They just, I ain't that deep. Oh, yeah? And you wonder why you're not getting called back. And you wonder why you're still unemployed. And you wonder why you're still stuck at the job that you've been at for a while. And you know, it makes it a lot harder. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot harder, but it's a challenge when you've been working on a job for a long time. Like if you've been working on a job, you know, double-digit years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you're thinking about either getting another job or changing jobs, it's going to be challenging for you because shit has changed. If you haven't looked for a job since the 90s or the 80s or something like that, it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be, you know, things have changed out there. So you haven't looked for a job in the new internet era. Even if you look for jobs in the mid to late 90s, when getting a job over the internet really started to become popular, it's going to be challenging for you because it's not like it was then. You could almost get any job if you applied for them on the internet in 1995, 1996, because you didn't have a lot of competition. Now there are hardly any in-person applications. So now they're dealing with a higher volume of applications. So you have to make sure that you do your due diligence in order to make your resume stand out. And spelling errors, punctuation errors are not going to do it. You are going to leave yourself out there. Nobody is going to give you a chance online. They don't know you. They can't feel you, can't see you, and don't really give a shit. You're not even a number. So, you know, we want to make sure that we bear that in mind. Info spot 411. What's good, man? What's good? It says in chat GPT helped so much today. Oh, okay. Wait, I'm not sure if I know what that is. Omar says I made custom personal letters for each application using chat GPT or chat guy. Crazy Steve says you need to please the software that sorts the applications. Keywords need to be stacked on the first page. He says you basically need to apply SEQ methodologies to your resume. Sounds good. Sounds good. But I'm going to make it easier because y'all using language that is industry insider stuff, and I'm just going to tell people what to do easily. You know what I mean? I mean, all of that, you know, that's you got to tell motherfuckers in simple language. Do this, this, and this. Don't do this, that, and the third. So that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So, all right. So you want to make sure that you fill out the application correctly and thoroughly. So don't leave any spaces. Don't leave anything. Just put that little dash in areas that don't apply to you or whatever. And, you know, submit your application. It doesn't, you know, one thing that really doesn't matter, there's no technique to it. It doesn't matter whether you submit the application in the morning, noon, or night. They're going to get it when they get it. And there are certain things that are going to stand out. Now, if you go on Indeed.com, Career Builder, Monster.com, or any of these job search sites, more than likely they're not even going to ask for the application until you submit a resume. So you fill out a resume, and you want to make sure that you know how to create a resume. Now, because this is a live show, I don't have the tools. It's not like we're on a Microsoft Teams call or whatever, so where I could bring up a resume and show you how to do it. But I'm going to tell you this: if you don't know how to develop a resume, find somebody who knows how to develop a resume. And one of the ways that I learned how to improve my resume was going to jobs, submitting my resume, and I've had people who gave me my resume back. In 1994, I applied for, I think, an insurance adjuster's position or something like that for Cigna, the insurance company. And I went to a job fair. And when I submitted the resume, the lady, she didn't hire me. But she gave me some game. She gave me my resume back, and she showed me everything that I did wrong on that resume. It was little silly stuff, security stuff that I had my damn social security number on the goddamn resume. She was like, "What are you trying to let somebody steal your identity?" And I was like, wow. She was like, "Don't do that." And she went over it. So she had me come in for an interview, and it wasn't really a job interview. It was a training session. The lady helped me out a lot. So I got that resume together. And after I got that resume together, it was, other jobs that I looked for became easier. Another thing happened. One time I submitted this. Okay, let me put it like this. Don't use the same resume for every job. If you're looking for a different job in a different area or whatever, like you don't want to use a resume for IT tech to be a maintenance operator. It's not the same stuff. You figure the job's a job. No, you need to have the right information that will be attractive to the employer of your choice. So you don't want to just use whatever, it's like, well, I know how to do all this stuff. You have all of your jobs listed. All right, so pick the job on the third job from the bottom is the one that I have the skills for. No, don't do that. Don't do that. As a matter of fact, it might be better to wipe your resume clean of all that other stuff and take care of it and take care of those questions in the interview rather than to submit the same resume to every employer that you are trying to get a job with. So it's important for you to remember that. So because they don't want people who are all over the place. So what's the use in being thorough on the application when it looks like that you're all over the place with the resume? Gabish? What's the use in being thorough on the resume? I mean, on the application, you filled out the application thoroughly. You left no spaces. You use the right kind of grammar, punctuation, and spelling. But then you submit this resume, and you got, well, I worked at Rite Aid and retail sales, and then I worked in construction, and then I went to Lincoln Tech to learn how to work computers, and that's when I got into IT. But then I stopped doing. I never pursued that field in IT. I had another job. I went out to California and decided that I was going to join the Peace Corps for a little while. So I hung out with the Hare Krishnas, and then my spirit said that now I could go back to being a vagrant. And so you want to make sure you have the right information for the right job. So, and you can go online and Google how to structure a resume. Now, if you don't know how to use like Microsoft Word or whatever, you can also go online and learn how to use that. But you're going to need to know how to do things, simple things, just like how to center things. Indent, use the correct tabs and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you know what you're doing. Let me see. Crazy. Oh, Kim's Wims. What up, Kim? What up, Kimmy? Good to see you. Always. Let me see. Wisdom says use AI to check job requirements and your CV experience. Match them, but keep all good old CV stuffs. Okay. Crazy Steve says formatting is key. The right font makes a huge difference. Yeah, well, I wouldn't suggest that you use the old Roman stuff. I wouldn't suggest you do that. I mean, you could, but it ain't good. And no calligraphy. You don't want to get too cute because there can be a tendency to try to get a little too cute. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. My man Omar, man, good looking. He says, I absolutely fuck with the content. I've been entertained for months. Man, I appreciate you saying that. And you know what? You are the real MVP because I didn't think that YouTube would let you use the F-bomb and they let you do it. So for that, I said for that. Thanks for the super chat, the chat. For that. Super chat. Appreciate you, mucho, my dude. What a way to start off the year with a super chat. I appreciate that. Rain alarm for my brother. Good looking. All right. So back to this resume thing. Yeah, you want the resume to have the right information on it. You want that resume to make you stand out because now that they have you submitting resumes online, you're running into the same issue that you ran into or that you would run into with the job application. How do you stand out? How do you make sure that you stand out with your resume that you're going to submit online? Well, one thing is for sure. You want to make sure that you structure your resume so that your general information, your identification information is all the way at the top. And then you have your objectives, and then you start filling in, what jobs you worked for, your work experience and all that kind of stuff. But you want to make sure that in the objectives area, that you are selling yourself hard. Like, listen, I'm seeking a position that will allow me to utilize my skills and help a business grow and all of that. That's the key right there. Businesses want to know that you are in it for them. They know you need a job. They know you got bills. They know you got a car note. They know you got rent. They know that you got a mortgage. They know that you have children. And they know that you like to party, drink, have fun, go on vacations, and throw and make it rain up in the club. They know all of that. They want to be able to do that on a higher level than you. So in your objectives area, you want to make sure that you are letting them know that you are there for them. I can help you grow. I have these skills for you. So I'm seeking a position that will allow me to help this business grow, prosper, profit, and shoot up all the way up into orbit. I'm looking for a permanent position. I'm looking for a chance to help this company grow and be the best that it can be. Top notch, Fortune 500. They want to see that. Now, I mean, you don't want the resume to sound too cocky. Yeah, I want to show that I'm the best, that ever did this, that, and the third, and I can and I'm going to come on this job and change everything and make everybody do everything like me because everybody should be like me because I'm the best. I mean, you are looking for a job, and if you were so much the best, then you wouldn't be looking for a job. You would probably have a job and be looking for people to work at your job. But that's a whole nother story. So you want to make sure that in the objectives area, you are letting that employer know that you are in it for them. You don't have to be in it for them. You're really in it for yourself. You're really just trying to get paid. They don't have to know that. They know that that's general information that everybody knows, but you don't have to put it there. You put in there like, hey, boss, I'm just trying to make sure that the horses got the shoes on them right, and I can blacksmith, and I want to make sure that the hay is available for the horses and the cows. speaking of cows, nobody can milk a cow better than me. And I got this brand new butter churn. This butter is so good, people eat it without the bread. No, let me just have some butter. Hey, let them know that you are there for them and you're a team player. Works well with others. That's going to be on the job application. When they ask you what skills you have that would contribute to this position on the application, work well with others. I work well with others. We know that you like to work by yourself. We know that you would rather not be, bogged down with these coworkers who don't know what they're doing and who are always bugging you and talking about what happened over the weekend. They know all of that. What they don't know is that you got into a fight at your last job, and you better not let them know. If it ain't on record, you keep your mouth shut and learn from that experience and keep your hands to yourself. They want to know that you are a team player. So anybody who goes into a job interview or indicates on their application and their resume that I work best. I work best independently. Because this job ain't all about you. You are presenting yourself as being all about the job. The job ain't all about you. You have to be all about the job. You don't have to really feel like you're all about the job, but what you have to do is make them think that you're all about the job so you can get the job. Now, you work things out and you become who you are or show who you really are after you get the job. But do a good job. But look, we haven't gotten that far yet. You work well with others. You are a team player. As a matter of fact, you love working with other people. Oh, yeah, I really enjoy working with others and training and being trained. I'm a very good listener. I really thrive in a team-oriented atmosphere. You might be the type that requires an office by yourself. Not until after you get hired. And this process, oh, no, please build a team around me. As a matter of fact, give me a team that I can build around. Yeah. That's, you're selling yourself. And looking for a job is all about selling yourself. So you want to make sure that you do that. All right. So on the objectives area, you want to make sure that you sell in that objectives area that you are there for the job. You can improve their bottom line. You can be an asset to the company. And that's what you're seeking a position to be able to do. Please hit the like button, y'all. Please, can we get the likes up? Please. I said, please. We just need a couple of likes. Them likes. Thank you. I appreciate it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Believe me, you're gonna get some good information tonight, and we gonna still have a couple of laughs. It ain't gonna be all serious. You know what I mean? Shoot, when you lost your job, it was serious. But I'm gonna show you how to dig yourself up out of this thing. Like I said, I've been working in the managerial field for double-digit years, not teens. I've been doing this since I got out of college, 1993. I've been a manager on every single job I've ever been on. And so, I can show you how to do this, son. So let's do it. Okay. So, and what up, Life a Script, Access to Rome. What's good, man? Good to see you, Access to Rome. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see y'all. Adam Young. Adam said, that's not a cow, it's a bull. Man, maybe the bull was trans. I don't know. Stacy White, holding it down for the D all day, every day. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody. Everybody. Okay, so list your education correctly. You don't have to list every single school that you went to, because you may have phlebotomy training, you may have IT training, you may have maintenance training, you may have worked in housekeeping, you may have other things in the health field, like maybe you CNA and all that. the job experience and the education experience that relates to your position. That's what you need. That's what you need. Don't go in there trying to list, let's say you went to more than one high school. Maybe you were you had military your parents were in the military, you moved around a lot. You list one school, one high school, one college, unless you have advanced degrees like a master's or a PhD or whatever, in which case you should already know this shit, but it's cool. It's cool. You don't know until you know. So you want to list the education on your resume that relates to the job that you're trying to get. Same thing as your work experience. I don't care if you worked in retail at Rite Aid or Super Fresh, ShopRite, the Pathmark back in the day. Cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. You had an after-school job and fast food. None of that shit matters if it doesn't relate to the job that you're going for. So, but you want to make sure that you don't omit or leave out jobs that may benefit you in getting this job. So let's say you worked at Family Dollar or Rite Aid or whatever, and you had warehouse experience or stocking experience or inventory experience. And you may be seeking out a job that uses inventory experience. Now, although you may not have liked doing inventory when you worked in retail, it's a very, very useful attribute to have when looking for another job. So put it on there. Put it on there. Yeah, I worked at Rite Aid and we did inventory. So I know I'm good at counting and making sure that we know how many things that we have and what we need to order and all of that, because that's managerial stuff. That's leadership stuff. That's stuff that protects the money and it's attractive to employers. So you want to make sure that you don't leave that stuff out. You don't want to leave none of that stuff out. Let me see. InfoSpot says put that you have public speaking skills on your resume. A lot of people don't put that down, and it's important. It's an important skill that companies like. Call into the show and improve your public speaking skills. I like that. And for people who have never been here before, and as a reminder to those who have been here before, yes, you can call into this show. You can speak your mind. I mean, you may be looking for a job, or you may be thinking about looking for another job or whatever. You may not have been in the job market for a while or looking for a job in the market for a while, and you may be a little rusty or need some techniques, and you want to make sure that you get it right. You can call, and the number to call is area code 267-874-1949. That's the number to call. I said it, 267-874-1949. Yes, y'all. I said it, 267-874-1949. Yeah, get on the line. I said it, 267-874-1949. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 267-874-1949, baby. No censorship. You can call 267-874-1949, and we will get you right on up in here, and you can talk your shit, ask your questions, be who you want to be, say what you want to say, act how you want to act, be how you want to be. 267-874-1949. Daily Go Get 'Em is a show, and we are talking about how to conduct yourself in interviews and get the job that you want. We need jobs. And there are jobs out there. I know that the price of food is high and the inflation is making everything else in the world high, but also the job opportunities are just as high. There are jobs out here. Whether they are the jobs that you want or just the jobs that are available. There is work out here. You can work. You can make money. You can start at an entry-level position and you work your way up or whatever. You can put your ambition in the right place. So, with that being said, your education, make sure that you put the relevant education, the relevant work experience. You don't have to list every single job that you have. A good resume should really only be a maximum of 2 pages. If you can get away with it on 1 page, because that's one of those things that makes it stand out, and it shows your organizational skills. If you can organize a resume that can be read with 1 page, like they don't even have to flip the joint, like just right here. It's not going to show, I want to make sure that you don't think that, well, it's going to show that I don't have any experience or I don't know how to write down all my skills and all that kind of stuff. No. It's going to show that you know how to write a resume correctly. And believe me, they look for that kind of thing. And it doesn't matter if you wrote your resume yourself or if you got somebody to help you. What matters is that you got it done correctly and that you are marketable, you are attractive, and you're ready to go. So, what happens when you submit your resume? And I could talk a little bit about a cover letter, but I'm not doing it. So, because a lot of people just don't do a cover letter. They don't do a cover letter. Now, a cover letter is going to let, it basically gives you an introduction to your resume, and it showcases even more your skills and all that kind of stuff and your objectives and all of that. But, you don't really have to do it. Honestly, I've never used a cover letter. Now, that's not because using a cover letter isn't important, and it's not because it isn't useful. But I've gotten jobs without it, and you can still get it without it, or you can get it with it. Now, there's a good chance. Now, I'm going to be responsible in this. I'm not going to say that there's a good chance that if you use a cover letter that it won't make your resume stand out even more. So, I'm going to say that. So let's make sure that we understand the exact purpose of a cover letter. What is the purpose of a cover letter?
According to Furman University, a cover letter is an excellent opportunity for candidates to introduce themselves to potential employers in a personalized and concise way. It allows applicants to express their motivations, highlight their relevant skills and experiences, and explain why they are the perfect fit for the job.
So, like I said, it's just like the objectives, but in a cover letter, you can write more. On the resume, you want to have your objectives about that much, pretty much an inch. That's where your objectives should be. On a cover letter, you can put more in. Like, I'm the greatest. You can Muhammad Ali, but don't go too far. Just show why you are the right person for the job, why you are decent. So, you send a cover letter along with the resume, and send the cover letter. But just like on a resume, make sure that you get your punctuation right. Listen, if you don't know how to write a paragraph, find out how to write a paragraph. All you iPhone users, do not use your iPhone to fill out any applications or resumes. And you know why I say that? Because stereotypically and actually, iPhone users are lazy as fuck when it comes to punctuation. They suck with it. And you know why? Because the punctuation is on a different page and people don't feel like flipping to that page. On Android, the punctuation and the numbers are right there on the resume. On the keyboard. On your phone keyboard. With an iPhone, that's why when somebody texts me or post something online, I can always tell when they use an iPhone. The only punctuation that they're going to have is a period all the way at the end. Mad sentences in there, no periods. And you're just supposed to understand that. On the cover letter, make sure that you use your periods, use your parentheses, use your hyphen. No, not the hyphen. Not the commas. Yeah, use your commas. You know how like when you write ain't, don't, shouldn't. What's that thing? The thing that comes between the N and the T. God damn it. Now my English is coming into question. Apostrophe. Thank you, Omar. Listen, I'm over here telling y'all to make sure that you write shit right. And here I am vocabularily I'm challenged for a moment. You know what I mean? My bad. My bad. We gonna get it together though. We got it. Yeah, make sure that you use your apostrophes. Don't try to just write DONT, WONT, and don't use the word ain't. And I have to say this because nowadays you would be shocked at the things that people think are acceptable or will be okay with applications, with resumes and stuff like that. Because we're in the so-called keeping it real era. And I'm like, no. Looking for a job is not the time for you to keep it 100. It's time for you to keep it like you Superman or Superwoman on this application, resume, cover letter, and interview. That's what you are, but not so over the top. As a matter of fact, you're not Superman. You're more like Clark Kent. You're not Spider-Man. You're more like Peter Parker. You're not Iron Man. You're more like Tony Stark. Yeah, because Bruce Wayne, not Batman. You're Bruce Wayne, because all of them are business people. They worked in offices and all of that stuff. They get it. I mean, Peter Parker worked at the Daily Bugle. He's a writer. Would Peter Parker botch a resume? Come on, man. Spider-Man ain't gonna mess up. Okay, anyway. So you want to make sure that you keep that tight. Matthew Stringer, what's good? And Nicole Ellis, thanks for coming through. My people, Seika Sala all day. My people, thanks for coming through, y'all. I appreciate you. All right. And Seika Sala says cover letter is not needed for most jobs. That's true. Oh, a single blackjack dealer. What's good? Y'all sneaking in here. I see y'all, you know what I mean, in between the lines there. It's good to see y'all. Thanks for coming through, y'all. I appreciate it. But yeah, cover letter is not needed or necessary for most jobs. Nonetheless, you want to set yourself apart from everybody else. You want to be able to say, I have what everybody else doesn't have. And it's all for you. It's just like dating. Not only do I have money and education and my own car and my own place and a big giant dick and I share and I'm a great son and father and brother and friend, but I fix sinks and leaky roofs. Yeah, you want to set yourself away from everybody else. So everybody can do a lot of the same things that are looking for this job, but you want to make sure that you are setting yourself apart and are better than everybody else without being cocky, but you have more to offer. That's probably the best way to put it. You have more to offer than the other candidates. You are the ultimate candidate. You got this. So let's say your resume makes it to the point where they ring your phone, or they send you the email saying that they want to set up either a phone interview or an in-person interview. Now, nowadays, especially after the COVID era or during the COVID era, a lot of jobs are doing phone interviews. Okay, so let's talk about how to conduct yourself properly in an interview. Let's start off by talking about how you should dress. Because I've seen some shit working in my field. I've seen dudes come there looking like they were going to a cookout. I'll never forget it. Here it was, 2019. And this guy filled out an application for this entry-level position. And when he came in the lobby. I went to go get him in the lobby so I could interview him in the office. This guy had on shorts and a sweater vest. He looked nice for a cookout. He looked nice for an outdoor concert. He looked nice to go kick it in the park or whatever. And I'm checking this dude out. I'm like, he wasn't young. This wasn't no young boy. He wasn't no in his 20s or 30s. He had to be in his 40s like me. So he caught me on a good day because I was leaving this job. It was getting close to my last day on the job. It was my last week. And they wanted me to interview as many people before I left so we could set the next manager or the new manager up for, so he would have the staff that he needed, because I didn't have the staff that I needed, but I was going to help him out. All right. So after we conducted the interview, and the guy seemed okay. He wasn't the best candidate. He wasn't the worst. He was serviceable. So after we finished the interview, I said, listen, the first thing I noticed when you came in here is that you weren't dressed appropriately. Like, is there a reason why you have on sweater vest and the shorts and the sneakers? He said, yeah, man. Literally. Yeah, man. I had my slacks in the car. I was just coming from doing something with my kids or whatever. And I remember that I had this interview and I started to put the pants on, but then I said, all right, fuck it. That's what he said. Fuck it. And I said, this is pre-COVID. This is in 2019. The judge said, boy, relax and have a beer. You won't be doing shit for the next 10 years. Chiba, y'all. I said, you know what? Today's your lucky day, my dude. I said, because I'm out of here in 2 more days. So you won't be able to contact me. But I'm going to give you this job. I said, but you're not dressed appropriately. And the next person would have bounced you out of here without even interviewing you. I said, but I'm going to give you a shot. He said, thanks so much. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that example always stuck with me because I'm thinking like, he's a grown man. He didn't know any better than to dress better than that. But hey, it is what it is. And it went how it went. And it goes how it goes. So what should you wear to an interview? You go to a job interview, you should wear good business casual attire. You don't have to wear a suit. The job that you're looking for may not require a suit. Doesn't mean that you don't have to wear something that shows that you gave a shit. At an interview, you want to look like you care, that you've thought about this, that you have respect for the business that you are trying to work for and whoever is interviewing you. Don't make them start thinking, listen, man, I've had people come and look for jobs and straight smell like a dispensary, a weed dispensary. I was like, what the hell? Listen, I smelled them coming. And this guy that I'm talking about worked for me before. He said the only reason he came to the interview, he told me this, the only reason I came to this interview is because the name on there, I saw your name and I said, could this be Omar? Could it be the same Omar that used to work at University of Penn? He said, look, it's you. I said, yeah. And look, it's you. I did remember him. And I remember he wasn't that good. He was a floor tech. He was a floor tech. You know, he was a pretty good floor tech. But as an employee, he had some flaws. I remember he was on his final warning for discipline. He was on his final warning. I remember that about him. I'm a manager. Of course I remember that kind of shit. What's that? So he wanted to be a floor tech. And he smelled like I was like, damn, dude. So I said, all right, well, I'm gonna go back to HR and your recruiter and let them know, you know, what I know. And, you know, I'll see you again, blah, blah, blah. I'm not hiring this guy. He had no respect. If you knew it was me, you know how I was as a manager. Come correct. I'm not, you know, I guess he figured, nah, man, I was gonna look out. He gonna look out. And if he hadn't been the way that he was, I would have looked out gladly. Like, dude, you came here, your pants damn near hanging down. Number one, you smell like you still smoking. I was looking for the smoke. Like, I smell everything. I got a contact. You know what I mean? I was ready to put on some Bob Marley, some Peter Tosh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to do a Dutchy wine. So, yeah. A nice pair of slacks for the men. Nice pair of slacks. A decent sweater. Nothing too loud. No crazy colors. You're not going to the club. You're going to work. So leave your fly stuff, your Saturday night stuff. You know what I mean? Don't come in there with a button-down shirt and this button-down always. I mean, this is loose, all the way down here, showing your chest. Hey, like, what are you doing, John Travolta? You know what I mean? You ready? Fever night, fever night, fever. We know how. No. Your Fitty Barbarino ass. No. A sweater. If you have a nice plain button-down shirt or a plaid button-down shirt, that will do it. Make sure you have a belt on. Some decent shoes. Don't come in there with sneakers. Nowadays, everybody thinks that they can wear sneakers anywhere they go. Think about it. Just because you spend a lot of money on a pair of sneakers, it doesn't mean that is appropriate for what you're doing. When the interviewer comes out to the lobby or wherever to get you, to take you to where you're going to be interviewed, if you notice, he's looking at you head to toe. It's not a bad idea. And I've used this technique plenty of times. You wear glasses, wear your glasses. Wear. You know why? Because for some reason, people look at people who wear glasses as being distinguished, as being serious. Glasses don't make you smarter. All it means is that you can't see. You have challenges. You have challenges in your eyesight. That's what people wear glasses for. But for some reason, it disarms people. Now, I'm not Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Tony Atlas or any of the steroidal maniacs that we grew up watching. But I'm a pretty big dude. I'm a black man, and I've been known to be intimidating. But when I throw these on, it reduces the threat in their mind. Hey, whether they're racist or not, it reduces the threat. It makes them think, oh, non-threatening black male. He's a big, wide-shouldered, wide-back, non-threatening black male, but he's a non-threatening black male. They want to see that. Use them. Use whatever you have to your advantage. You want to make yourself look as attractive as possible, and throwing on the glasses might do it. Now, if you got Gucci, gold Gucci frames and all that, but I know for a fact that wearing glasses has helped me in interviews. So I made sure I went. I threw them on. Threw them on. It helps. So you're dressed appropriately. Women, a nice business skirt or business dress or whatever, or some nice slacks. Nothing revealing. You know, you're not trying to prostitute your way into a job. You're trying to actually secure a position. And as a woman, you should be concerned about people taking you seriously and not, you know, giving you a job or trying to fill a quota or anything like that. You have just as many skills as any man or any other woman that is a candidate just like you. Well, make sure that you conduct yourself as such. Don't be coming in there with mad cleavage and all of that kind of stuff, trying to whore yourself into a job. It may work for some people, but it ain't a good look. So what happens when you think that you were being interviewed by a man and you see that as a woman? The least you could do is go in the bathroom and button up your shirt. Like, females interviewing me. I know I ain't getting that job. Shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be that way. You are showcasing your talents and your skills, and you're just trying to find a job. Okay. Let me read some of y'all comments. Okay. Matthew Wilson, Nicole Ellis. What up, Nicole? Okay. Matthew Wilson, I would like to think I know 95% of the truth about Zainu. What do you know at Omar? About what is Zainu? I don't recognize that word. Not ashamed to say it. Crazy Steve says, Matthew, you know 95% of absolutely nothing. Matt says, this includes Freemasonry and Scientology. Oh, that. Well, maybe I do know something about that. Aussie mate, my dude. I see you sent me the request. I accepted your friend request on PlayStation. Yeah, just for all of y'all, Aussie mate and I are gamers on PlayStation. And Aussie mate sent me a request, a friend request. So we are now friends and on PlayStation. And he also invited me to play Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, when you gave me the request, I wasn't playing. I was signed into the network, but I wasn't actually playing. But I'm definitely gonna get with you. We gonna play. Let's see what you got. You know what I mean? We can link up, build a clan, and you know what I mean, and shoot everybody. Omar says, I only know he created our universe by putting the lost souls in the volcano. They escaped and fell among us. Okay. All right. That's what's up. I got some universal knowledge here. Okay. Oh, Crazy Steve just can't help being a dickhead. That's okay. All right. Omar says Steve forgot to take his meds again. He'll never take them shit. Info Spot says, did he look nice for an Eagles game? No, he was a little, you know what I mean? At the Eagles game, you could get dirty. It's like, he would look probably better for a Phillies game. Emily Dunlap in the house. I said it. Emily, what's going on? And Kermit 559 Sanchez, what's good, man? Good to see you. He says, even if you have to lie on the application, at least you will get some forklift experience for the next interview. I'm not telling you not to lie. I'm telling you to be prepared. Do jobs tell you everything about their business practices when you are hired? Do they tell you that they're going to try to limit your overtime and that they're going to try to stop your entitlements and your benefits? And do they tell you that? No. But we're going to talk a little bit about that as far as the interview is concerned in just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. Because I want to show y'all how to interview the interviewer. And you might be interested in how this goes. All right. And y'all want to call into the show, 267-874-1949. Please, in the meantime, in between time, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. We're talking about jobs right now. Y'all got one job. One job. Please hit the like button. That's all I need you to do. One job. One job. One job. One. This is one. Appreciate it. Seika Sala says, I've been blessed every job I applied for and interviewed for I got. All of my jobs were stepping stones to find my current job. I always dress nice with a haircut. I'm from firm handshakes and eye contact. Very good. Very good. All right. And let me see. Crazy Steve says, all these people think they hustlers, then hustle yourself into a high paid job. How you know what kind of job they have? I mean, how do we know that you have a high paying job? We don't know you. Huh. All right. If you struggle for money, then upgrade your skill set. How about you just learn how to spend wiser? Because you can be strapped for cash at any income level. If you buy more than you bring in, and that's not hard to do. You make $1 billion, but you try to buy a building every day. Buildings ain't cheap. Like, I'm just gonna buy a skyscraper every time I get $1 billion. Okay. See, it works in IT. So you would think you like an oil tycoon, and you executive for Exxon Mobil or some shit like that. Like, you work in IT. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, Mr. Six Figures with overtime. Okay. As a senior infrastructural build specialist. Okay. Like I said, Mr. Six Figures. All right. No, he has never called in, and he would never call in. He ain't got them kind of balls. He's staying right there in that chat. You trust and believe. He is not built to have his voice heard on the line. We've gone over this before. We have bet this motherfucker that he wouldn't call in, and he didn't. He would never dial those numbers and actually try to call. And we can make that bet again. As a matter of fact, I believe the last time we did this, I told him I would send him money in front of all of y'all. I said I would send him money if he called into the show. He ain't doing that shit. Man, he tough in those in that chat on the phone. You want somebody that's brave on the phone? That would be Info Spot 411. That would be my man Jeff Guapo. Crazy Steve, he a keyboard gangster. He ain't got it. He ain't that dude. He's you said soft, the pussy. But in that chat, he Jesse Ventura, 1979. There's nothing to fear. All right. Info Spot says, exception, if a lady is applying for a topless bar, then let it show. Well, for a topless bar, you probably don't need a resume and a cover letter or a written interview. I mean, written application. Probably not. You know, she might be maybe she's looking for a job to be a fluffer for some porno guys or some male exotic dancers. I don't know. Do y'all hear the phone ringing? Do y'all hear the phone ringing? Now, I haven't told one single lie on this whole broadcast. Do y'all hear the phone ringing? Let me show y'all what it sounds like, just in case y'all think that I have it on silent. I'll show you that Steve ain't calling in. This is what it sounds like when you call in. Blah, 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 blah. That's what it sounds like when somebody calls in. So you'll know when somebody is calling in. That was me, not Steve. It will never be Steve. Steve will never call in. There's nothing y'all can do or say to make Steve call in. Steve's scaredy cat. He's no brave. He brave in chat. He's scared on phone. But have Steve talk with speech impediment? It's possible. It's possible. Ain't nobody trying to bait you. We just saying. We saying what it is. If I challenge Info Spot 411 to call in, like I bet you won't call in and talk about the Eagles versus the Lions. It ain't gonna be too long before the phone starts ringing. And we on the same time zone. You? We could get the celebrity of your choice to blow you if you called in. No, mommy, I don't want to have sex. Kevin Lips, what's good? Says jobs have more to do with who you know than what you know. Find somebody, get an inside connection with. I've never had a job. Now, listen, I've worked at a lot of different places since 2017. I was working at a different place every year. I was always on the move looking for another job. Because one thing I've learned about being, getting a job for the first time, that's when you negotiate your best price. Once they get you in there, it's really hard to get significant raises. So in the beginning, that's what you can say. Well, no, my skills and experience won't allow me to work for this. I have to have this. So in the interview, now that you're dressed nice and all of that, when you go into the interview, be patient. Let the interviewer ask you questions. Answer the questions to the best of your ability. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Be talkative, but don't be a chatty patty. Don't try to overtalk the interviewer. Don't interrupt the interviewer. And by all means, and for God's sake, do not try to pre-think or overthink the interviewer. Do not say, oh, I know what you're going to say next. Don't say that. Don't act like that. Don't give off that kind of energy. Now, there might be nervous energy or whatever, but you don't want to do that. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary. You just want to sell yourself. And you sell yourself by being knowledgeable, by expressing yourself correctly and concisely, and by being confident and informative, friendly, maybe even a little funny. Don't go in there trying to crack jokes, but like little things like, and one thing is paramount. Do the fuck not be late for a job interview. Do not be late for a job interview. Let's say it's a case where you're going to a different place to find to go on this interview that you've never been before. Do not wait until the day of the interview to go find out where that place is. Days before you go to that interview, do a Google search or Waze or whatever your GPS is, find out where that place is and go to that place before the day that you have that interview. So you know where you're going when the time comes. You know how long it takes to get there with traffic and without it. So on that day, you know that if it's an hour away, you need to leave an hour and a half earlier. Don't try to say, okay, it took me an hour the first time, but I think I could do it in 50 minutes. That is not Crazy Steve, in case y'all thinking it is. All right. Where's the damn cursor? All right, there we go.
You have a call.
Okay, hold on. Caller with the last number is 0297. I'm going to take your call in just a second. Like I said, go to the place where you're going to be interviewed way before, at least a day before you actually going to interview. So you know exactly how long it takes to get there and which way to go to get there. Because you don't want, if you're there right on time, then you're late. So you want to get there at least minimum 15 minutes before. So you go to the receptionist. Listen, I have an interview for this position with Mr. or Mrs. such and so. Okay, yeah, and then they'll call that person and have you wait in the lobby or whatever, and then they'll come. Make sure you do that. You're there. Make sure you're there at least 15 minutes before. You don't want to pull up the rear and I got there. The interview was at 12 o'clock, and I got there at 11:55. I'm on time. Technically, you're on time. Professionally, you're late. And it kind of sends the message to the interviewer that you like to get things done at the last minute. In your mind, you're thinking, as long as I get it done, right? You want people who can work under pressure, right? If that's what they're asking for, you let them ask. You don't offer that. Yeah, I might not always get things done on time, but I get them done. Fail. Okay, so make sure you know which way to go when you're going to the interview, and make sure that you know the correct way to go. So, all right. So during the interview, they're going to ask you certain questions about, they're going to ask you questions like, why are you leaving your last job? Now, think about that. Think about that question way before you go to your job. What would your answer be? What would your answer be if you were asked, why are you leaving your last job? Whatever the reason is, let me tell you what your reasons should not be. They weren't paying me enough. Don't do that. I didn't get along with my supervisor. Don't do that. They wanted me to do things outside of my job description. Don't do that. You don't want to say one negative thing about the place that you're leaving. Nothing. Not one thing. Not one thing. That's whether you're leaving there on good terms or bad terms. This is not a relationship. You're not looking for a new man or a new woman where you feel is necessary. Like, yeah, she didn't do this, and I'm looking for a woman who does that. Nah, not in the job world. So none of your conversation should be surrounded about how much you weren't getting paid, how unfair things were, any of their business model or business practices. Mm-mm, mm-mm. If they ask you, and they may ask you, if they ask you something like, what was one negative thing that you would say about your last employer or your last job? Zero. If they ask you what you liked or disliked about your job, if they ask you what you liked about your last job, everything. I liked everything about it. Yeah, of course it sounds ridiculous because like if they liked everything about it, if you liked everything about it, why are you leaving? Well, it may not have been your choice. Maybe they're relocating. Maybe they were downsizing. Maybe positions were eliminated. Like during the COVID era, a lot of jobs, weren't able to operate, and maybe you didn't want to go on unemployment, so you're looking for a job. So yeah, I liked everything about my previous job. Is there anything that you didn't like about your last job? Nope. Liked everything about it. There's nothing. I don't have one negative thing to say about my last job. You want to say that because the time may come when you have to leave this job if you get hired. And they want to know that you're not the type of person that speaks negatively about the business that you were working for. So no negativity. Not one bad thing about your previous employer. I'm just looking for a better opportunity. I know that I can help a new company grow and thrive and prosper, and I'm eager to showcase my talents and get in there and help out. It makes me feel good to help businesses make a lot of money. It just, I don't know, it does something for me. I just feel like I'm part of something great, and I was always raised that way. My mom and my dad, they raised me that way. They always raised me to help. All my neighbors, all of my family members, all of my friends, they call me Mr. Helpful. So I just like to get in there and just be of some kind of assistance. Yeah, you're bullshitting. So sounds good to them. Enthusiasm. You got that oomph. Everybody ain't doing that. People letting their pride get in the way. Well, shit, you looking for a way to make some money. Ain't no pride. Get the job first. Then you can drink tea with your pinky in the air. But for right now, you looking for a coffee mug. Insulated. Aluminum. Okay. All right. Got it? Okay. All right. So the other thing is that when they ask you if you have any questions, normally after they finish asking you questions, they normally want to know if you have any questions. Make sure you have questions. And I would suggest you write the questions down before you go into the interview. Know exactly what you want to ask. Don't have the paper, though. Don't start reading off the script. Like, yeah, I wanted to ask you. One thing is for sure. Do not ask any questions about money. You don't talk about money until the time of the offer. Speaking of which, sometimes on some job interviews, they may try to get you to talk about money prematurely. Like, well, what are your salary requirements? They may ask that. Your answer should be, well, I would rather talk about salary requirements at the time of the offer. And they may, no, let's just say they push you, they press you. Well, come on, we need to know. Okay, so your answer is that is well, what's the salary range for this position? And they may say, well, it's between this and that. Let's say, I don't know, between $65,000 and $85,000. Okay, you say, okay, I can live within that range. I think I can work within that range. Now, what if they try to press you? Like, no. What do you? How much you want to make? You say, like I said, I'd rather talk about that at the time of the offer. And they say, well, okay. Now, if they keep pressing, you say, well, are you making me an offer? And let's say they say yes. Okay, make me an offer. You said the salary range was between $65,000 and $85,000. Well, make me an offer. You already know what the range is. Okay, so let's say they make you an offer. Now, the likelihood that they're going to make you an offer right at the time of the interview is not that likely. But you never know. It might be a small business where they're trying to get people hired quickly, and they don't have to go through as many channels as a bigger company would, and maybe they can get this thing done with the quickness. All right. So they offer you, okay, we can offer you $75,000. If you good with the $75,000 after they told you that their range was between $65,000 and $85,000, all right, then you take it. But if it's not, let's say the $85,000 wasn't enough. Well, what you should probably do is say, well, listen, I really need a position that's going to pay $95,000. Now, if they are making you a job offer, they've already eliminated all of the other candidates. So you don't have to worry about, well, if I don't take what they offer me, then they might just take the other guy that interviewed. It doesn't work that way. And that's what you need to definitely remember. Once they make you a job offer, they have decided that only you will receive that offer, not any of the other candidates. They are eliminated. So if you don't accept the position, they have to start the process all over again. Please remember that. You are in a powerful position at the time that they make you an offer. And they know nowadays they normally don't make the offer until maybe 2 interviews or so, sometimes 3. Sometimes they have you come in a couple of times, and that's because they have other executives, they're talking about you too. Like, we got this guy, he seems pretty good, and we're really interested in him, and I think that he'd be better than these other guys, these other girls, these other candidates. So we're really looking at him. So they may ask you to come in for a second interview so you can meet the general manager, maybe the district manager. So what do you think about him? Yeah, I think he's great too. Because it's teams. Everybody has to answer to somebody. So you want to make sure that you understand the power position that you have at the time of the offer. You want to make sure that you understand that. So, all right. So, okay, I'm going to take the caller. My bad. Caller with the last number is 0297. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for holding number 1. What's on your mind tonight?
This is Ed from Detroit, InfoSpot 411 YouTube channel. I wasn't going to call in, but nobody's calling in. And I said, well, fuck it. I'll call in. I had something interesting. You just touched on it briefly. When usually at the end of the interview and you're asked, do you have any questions? One of the biggest things I hear a lot, from friends and people I've met is, questions about the benefits. Yeah, a lot of times you can find that out. Not all the time, but a lot of times you can find out, hey, what's the medical, dental? Is it a matching 401k? Is there a pension? Do they have sick days? How many sick days a year? And as well as a lot of times I'll go over that in interviews. The thing that a lot of people miss, you want, whether it's one question or a couple questions, you want to ask something that shows that you have interest in the job and with the company or / employer. For example, one of the ones I always love asking, and it's received well, is in general, what are your employees, like let's say I'm applying for a credit department, okay? Your credit department employees find most stressful in general on the job. Now I'm showing interest in the job, not just the benefits of the money, that's one of my ones I like to use, but it doesn't, not that you have to ask that exact question, but you want to ask something that, again, it shows you have interest in the company and the employer. Another thing too, they look at the interview where, politeness, manners, and coming across genuine comes into play. Is this someone who's going to be getting along with the team, and the people in the company here in the workplace? That's another thing that they'll look at, within the job interview. So you might have somebody who's very educated or very experienced, but the way they present themselves and through the interview might be like, this guy's, he's cocky or he's arrogant or he's this or that. I can already tell that he's someone who's going to have some issues getting along with, people here in our department. So that's just something else too. But yeah, you covered quite a bit.
Yeah, and there's more. There's more. Like, for example, like when they ask you if you have any questions, here's your chance to find out if this is a place that you want to work, because it should be important to you that just like the way that the company is looking for a person that will make them the most money with the least effort, you should be looking for an employer that will pay you the most money while you do the least amount of work. Not saying that you're lazy or are going to try to slack off, but just as far as business is concerned, you don't want to break your back or stress yourself out just to make a few dollars. So you're looking for a place where you can use your skills and abilities to be able to do the job as easy as possible. And everybody's happy when that happens. Nobody's asking you to go home sweating or go home with injury or something like that. You shouldn't be like a NFL quarterback going home with in concussion protocol or shit like that. Nobody needs you to do that. So in the interview, one of the questions that you can ask is, so what would, in your opinion, what would the best person for this for this job do? What the best candidate for this job, the best candidate for this position, what kind of attributes would they display? Like, if you were going to be a superstar in this position, what would that superstar look like? And it's a cheat question. It's legit, but it's a cheat question, because now they're going to tell you exactly what they're looking for. And now you can act like, yeah, that's me, all right. That's exactly what I do. Now, if that makes you uncomfortable, or if you think that they'll recognize the problem with that, you don't have to make that your first question. Yeah. One of the questions that you can ask are, how would you rate the work atmosphere on a scale of 1 to 10, or work atmosphere, or the support that the staff has for one another? Like, how would you rate on a scale from 1 to 10? One being the least supportive and 10 being the most supportive. How would you rate the level of support that the staff has for each other, or that management has for the staff or with each other? Let's say, because it could be a situation where you're looking for a management position. So how well does management support each other? And that's a very good question. So, now they have to start thinking, and they have to start giving up. They have to either tell the truth or start lying. If they know that it's a cutthroat atmosphere where it's every man for themselves, then well, where did you rank them? Because you gave them a chance from 1 to 10. Just the same way as when they have you fill out those questionnaires for certain jobs, and they ask you to rate certain things from 1 to 10. Now it's your chance. So yeah, what would you what would you rate? How would you rate the level of support that the staff has for each other, or that management has for each other, or management has for the staff? Okay, so let's say they say, I would say about an 8. People are here are pretty supportive of each other, and of course, we've had some hiccups, some bad apples or whatever that we've eliminated, which is one of the reasons that you're here. But overall, we have a really, really good working relationship with our employees. They look out for each other, and they help each other. Okay, good. All right, you can use that same scale type of thing, for other questions too, and you can say, and you can use that scale question to lead up into the whole. Well, what would the best person, what qualities would the best person for this job hold? How close to you from this interview, or from my resume or whatever? How close to those qualities do you think I am? What do you think I would need to do in order to be exactly the person that you're looking for? It shows insight. It shows forward thinking. It shows creativity, and it shows leadership. And jobs look for that kind of stuff. So it's and it's a way for you to put. Now you're on offense. Before they were on offense. Here you are, feeling like you have a board or a panel of people asking you. Because I've gone to interviews where there were more than one person interviewing. So it's like, it's you can feel like they're ganging up on you, but you shouldn't feel like that. You have to go in with confidence and be ready to ask them some questions, and give them some questions that aren't that easy for them. But you want to find out if this is the kind of place that you want to work. Yeah, just like you were saying, don't ask about benefits, don't ask about pay, don't ask about any of those things. Ask about operational procedures. Standard operational procedures, SOP. What if you're looking for? Let's say you're going for a mechanical job. Well, what kind of machines do we use? What brands? Like what are the expectations that? How often do we use this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Like show that you know a little something about the industry. In the case of some manual labor jobs, you may ask about some of the chemicals or some of the products that you may be using in order to do your job. You should know a little something about that. And that's if you're not seeking an entry level position where you may have done this on another level or in another place, but not this as your primary job. So you're really doing this for the first time as an occupation, but you have experienced it in another job. Like, for example, let's say you worked in fast food, you did aisle work, which means when you do aisle work, That's when you mop the floors and wipe down the tables and chairs and things like that. So that goes towards housekeeping experience. So although you've never worked as a housekeeper, you do have housekeeping experience, and you should use that to your advantage. Make sure you chronicle that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Another question that comes to mind I've asked before. I'm not running my current job. I've been here 15 years. Is if it's a department, I'll ask it sometimes for company. Usually it's more department. Do you have anybody currently working in your department that's been with the company or been here for 10 years or more? And if they say no, I'll just ask anyone who's been 5 years or more. Then they'll say, yeah, we have two people. Well, they'll know what I'm getting at, and I don't really mind. Is I'm looking is your department, is your company, is it a high turnover, or is it something that people like and being there? And you have people that stay and be there. Also, too, if they don't have too many people that's been there more than 5 years, and this company's been around a long time, that's what you want you're looking for that turnover. If it's a place or department with real high turnover, it's kind of a bad sign. Not everything, but that's another question I'll ask.
No, that's an excellent question. And you should absolutely ask that. Employee retention. Ask about employee retention. How long do people normally stay here? What is your longest tenured employee? Especially if you're going for a managerial job, because now you know what to expect about people calling out, people quitting, no call, no shows, that kind of stuff. You need to know that as a manager, because you're going to be dealing with that and having to fill in spots and try to, make sure that, that you are able to get the jobs completed. Because if you don't, it's all on you. Nobody wants to hear that you don't have the staff, blah, 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 blah. You got to get it done. Just like a coach that doesn't win gets fired. They're never going to say that you don't have the players. We know the players. We know the players can play. We scouted them. We hired people to scout them. Everybody's getting paid, and so are you. And you aren't able to get these players in a position to be able to win these games, so you're out of here. That's the same thing that happens in management. So yeah, when your team that you're supposed to be the manager of performs poorly, you get fired. They don't get fired because they have to go through this whole long process in order to get them up out of there, unless they do something crazy, like drink on the job, and sometimes they can be drunk on the job and they can still get rehab and all that kind of stuff. But you as a supervisor or a manager, you're out of here. You know what I mean? Ain't a whole lot of conversation about that. You don't have to go through the progressive discipline. I ain't got to do that with you. So you want to keep that in mind. But yeah, employee retention is a great question to ask. And I'm just saying that it will let you know what type of environment, because if they can't keep employees for a long time, you pretty much know what kind of employees you're going to be facing. Or if it's the business itself that's making it hard for people to come to work for whatever reason, you need to know that. Go ahead, Ed, what you were saying?
Oh, yeah. Very similar to what you're just saying is when I'm also looking for it, I would just say to add to it is if it's a place with bad employee retention, high turnover, it's also telling me there's some dysfunction going on. There's major dysfunction going on when you can't keep people there. And I'm not just talking pay or benefits. People always finding it. That's a thing that I'm also looking for, because a lot of times if it's a place where there's high turnover, there's some type of dysfunction going on, whether it's the chain of command or from management to the employees, or just no support. There's different things that go on, and there's a number of reasons people don't stay. But when there's that high turnover, that's a bad sign.
Yeah. So yeah, turnover high turnover lets you know a lot about um, a business's business practices, how well they
Mhm.
treat their employees, so to speak, and what people act, and that may show you a little bit about the salaries that they pay, the benefits, and it has a direct effect on management. Because if it's a situation where, I mean, most jobs have managements, they have managers that you'll work for. You might, everybody might have their favorite manager. Like, I'll do overtime for this guy, but not that guy. That kind of stuff. But if they
Mhm.
don't have any guys that they'll stay for, like they want to do the eight and skate. If it's a situation where there's overtime available and people ain't taking advantage of it, you know that there's something wrong there. Now, of course, in the interview, they're not going to tell you that, but there are ways that you can find out. Now, the last thing I want to, now after this interview is done and you've sold yourself and you've asked the questions that you wanted to ask, and they've asked everything that you wanted to ask, after they escort you out of the office or wherever they conducted the interview, and you say your goodbyes and everything, and they tell you that you should hear from somebody at a certain time and blah 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 blah.
Oh,
You shake hands and you thank them for the interview and the opportunity, and you go your separate ways. The next thing that you want to do, and
oh, I think I know what you're gonna say.
okay, the next thing that
Oh,
you want to do is email. Back in the day, you would actually send the note physically, like through the
mhm.
mail, but you want to email them a thank you letter for interviewing you. Thank you so much for interviewing me and giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills and to present myself to you. I really appreciate it, and I thought that the facility was really nice. I really found you to be engaging and friendly, and I just really wanted to thank you for interviewing me. Most people, almost nobody, is going to do that. You do that. That's the one thing that you can do that will be the cherry on top. That's the icing on the cake. That's the one thing that will make them say, "Wait a minute! I got an interview. I got an email from the guy I interviewed, and they see that you wrote a nice little thank you note, whatever, whatever." That's that little. That's the nail in the coffin right there. That's that look that you're looking for. And all it is a simple email. The same way they emailed you, now you email them, just thank you. Most people are not doing that. After they get out of the interview, they're at home hoping that they'll get a call or whatever. They may try to call the interviewer, get any word on the job, or don't you nah, you just send the email thanking them, and trust me, they will call you back. And pretty that's you're pretty much on your way then. More than likely, they'll either call you in for another interview. Now you don't have to send the thank you note again after a second or third interview. That thank you note solidified the second and or third interview if they should become necessary. But these little tips should be the things that help you get a job and get secure that position. It's not that hard, but you don't know certain things until you know them. And this is industry insider stuff. I'm telling you that here.
That's
Yeah,
right. It's on Sun 752 YouTube channel live stream, baby.
that's right. We just try to.
But the other term I've been meaning to interrupt, but back in the day was they called it the follow up letter. Well, now it's more of a follow up email. One thing someone told me, which I did some years back with a follow up email, you say if you can, so it doesn't look like it's just you're going through the motions. When you do it, try to put something in there about the interview itself. So, like, let's say I interview with Tom and Linda. I'm just making a couple of names up. And Linda asked a good question. I can also put in the follow-up email, even though I'm making it brief, say, hey, I was a little nervous, but I appreciate Linda being so polite, and Tom, you had some terrific questions about such and such, and then I appreciate that too. Don't go too lengthy, too long, just a little something so they like, okay, this wasn't just, prefab and you put a name on it and hit send, but you're not putting and making it too damn long. But you say, I just totally agree. And a lot of people forget that and miss it, and that might be little difference makers where they're just torn, like, okay, I mean, 3 people here, we got out of 8, we got 4 really good ones. We have to pick 3 out of the 4. So you might just put yourself in that 3rd slot. Just a little something, like you said, the follow-up letter, or doing some of the tips, like we talked about in the interview.
Yeah.
Like nothing's an exact science with this shit either, but it's good, this information you're talking about on your show here.
It's
people.
Yeah. Most of this stuff is stuff that you can find out on your own, but you want to make sure that you do the little things. These are just little details. This isn't the big picture. These are the little details that people overlook or who are never taught, but that will etch your name and your application and your image and your resume in the minds of those people who are doing the hiring. And that's the goal. That's the goal. So, don't hesitate to utilize any of these things, because it will only work for you. So, yeah. And these aren't hard things. They aren't hard things to do. These are things that you could easily do, and they're not going to it's not going to shave any years off of your life or make life any harder for you. You're not going to have to humble yourself to the point where you felt like you were bootlicking or anything like that. This is a job. You need the job, so do the things necessary in order for you to get it. Simple as that.
The one thing for think of where irritates the shit out of me. I haven't had it in some years, but I'll give an example of this one interview I had. Is when someone will ask me a question, but then they'll start to tell me what they don't want as answers, or what they allow and don't allow as an answer. Don't ask me a damn question and then tell me, let me here, I'll give you this example. Someone said, why should we hire you? And I don't want to hear that you're reliable, or you're good, or you've done this. I'm thinking to myself, and the guy kept going on and on, like, what the fuck? If I tell you something you don't want to hear is the answer, then just say, okay, well, I'm putting him at the bottom of the pile. Yeah, don't sit there. Oh my Lord, I got so pissed. But this is younger, when I was shopping around a few different jobs. Mm-hmm. After he said 3 different things, like one I remember was, please don't, he goes, and don't tell me that you're reliable. You're someone I can count on. I hear that all the time. And don't do this. Talk about totally unprofessional. So I caught him off guard. I got up and I said, it was nice meeting. I forget the fucker's name. This was a job at this casino. Got up. I said, hey, it was nice meeting you, and appreciate the interview and the opportunity, something like that. And I put my hand out to shake his hand, and I startled him. And have a good day, don't waste my time with stupid shit like this, motherfucker. It made me even think, okay, is this somebody I really want to work for?
Okay.
Not in a world, but I don't like that,
Yeah, I can dig it. But what you can say, if they ask you, why should we hire you? You say, well, because I can help you. That's it.
Oh yeah.
I can help you. I can make sure that things are running smoothly. I can make sure that I need the least maintenance and the least training with the greatest turnout, the greatest productivity. So you want to make a lot of money? I'm your guy. That's why you should hire me.
Good answer.
I am an upgrade.
Yeah.
Whatever you have before, I am an upgrade or an additional upgrade. If your staff is already great, well then you got another great one. That's why you should hire me. As a matter of fact, I would hire me if I was me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can tell them I would hire me if I was me.
Yes, you would. Yeah.
You know, like
my answer is, well, I want to come confident, but I want to stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also an honest, genuine answer. I usually answer this with is, I'm about merit. Not just about coming here every day and someone you can count on, but my focus is being good at the job and being the best. And that's what I'm about. Is I'm big on merit, and I keep my focus of being good at the job, being the best, even if it's the same boring, routine thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm dealing with sometimes of the day. I'm still going to have my focus on being good and being the best at the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're getting with me. You know, the
mm-hmm.
value. But that did happen to me some years back, but I didn't mind the question itself, but I don't like what I did. I should say I didn't like, you know, oh, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear that. Like, you know, motherfucker, if you ask me a question, don't sit there.
He'll tell you how to answer it.
Go ahead. I have one question for you too.
No. I'm done. After you say this last thing, we out of here. We're good.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking this is because I remember this, but I don't know. There's some type of motive behind it, and maybe you can help me with this. I had an interview once, and it was for a supervisor position. This was back in 2008. And I come in, and the guy had a long office. And he's at a table. He had my application resume printed off the computer, came in, and the table was about, I want to say, like, 14, 15 feet from the door when you walk in. And there was like a two-piece couch at the end of his office.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no chair in front of this table. So I stopped and I looked, like the chair is, have a seat. So he sits there and proceeds and has this interview with me, talking all the way across the room. And I don't know if it's something that he does this to just see how I can handle like something stressful, or, you know, let me see how someone reacts. I'm going to take them out of their comfort zone, not let them sit close to me.
That's the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Of MO behind that, or why they?
I've never heard of anything like that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Normally they want you to sit up close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything like that. You got me on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only interview I had, and I couldn't. It baffled me. I'm like, what the fuck? If you're serious about this job as a supervisor and you're interviewing some people, and you got me almost 15 feet away from the table talking across the room, unless there's that's the only thing I could think of. I'm like, when you want someone to sit in a chair near the desk and making eye contact, and I don't know, unless. Yeah, but you never heard of that? As far as
that's a sadistic interviewer. you were interviewed by a sadist.
I guess so.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of anything like that before in my life.
Yeah,
never.
I don't know.
So yeah,
maybe I'll have to Google this and research it, and then I'll get back with you if there's a reason why sometimes on an interview they'll have you sit like a distance away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always something. You know, we always go through some shit in life, and you're like, what the fuck was that all about? Or why did that person do something so stupid? Sometimes we can get understanding and find out, and other times you're still like, fuck if I know. Who knows what the fuck this person's doing or why he did it.
One thing I didn't mention on this show, make sure that you have a professional email. Do not use your personal email for business. So, you know, You don't want to use, like, for example, I wouldn't use sun752 at AOL.com. I wouldn't use that for business. And you may have some crazy email, like I'm the best lover ever at Yahoo. No. It means something. It's probably going to mean you're not getting that call. So
Sweet Daddy 101,
right? Yeah.
Gmail.com.
It's not that kind of place. So you basically putting sexual assault or sexual harassment right there at the application stage. So you want to have an email that maybe has your name or your initials or something like that, something simple, and let that be your professional email. You want a professional email address, not your personal email, not I don't know, stock car driver one, or I run red lights. No. So. All right, man, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
after 4 o'clock.
Show as always, my man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Good stuff, my man. Ed from Detroit, always coming through, always representing, always appreciate him to the fullest. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do these birthday shout outs, and then I'm going to let you good people get on up out of here. Yes, I am. Let you good people just get on up out of here. All right. Okay, wait a minute. I got to refresh. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious January 1st, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. We get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. My people's Tioga NAC, happy birthday to you. And also Darlene Sells Holmes Smith, happy birthday to you. And also Ron Davis and Maurice Henderson and Danny Smith and Elisa. I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. McKenzie. That's one of those examples of an email that you shouldn't use professionally. Yeah. Alyssa, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. No. All right. And also Barbara Body, Kelvin Amos, I'm sorry, Mocha Java, Linier, Fifi Boyle, Rosamie Cyril, Trisha Gums, Rosalind Bellamy, Matt Nanette, Shanika Booker, Larry Malone, Patricia Flowers, Diane Arsaid, Ex-Con Films, Kenneth KRS1 Cooper, and last but not least, Calvin Jennifer Taylor. My man took his wife and put that as his name. Calvin Jennifer. Like, if that ain't some I love my life shit, I love my wife shit, what is? I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious January 1st, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. Anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, go hard, go for yours, and looking for a job is also a job, but you gotta have the money so you don't steal and rob. like corn on the cobs, you can't afford it. Yo, everybody got shit and you never bought it. You gotta have the money, and it ain't funny when you ain't got none for your daughters and sons. So I'm gonna help you get this job you need, and you gotta do this shit so you can raise your seeds, and you ain't gotta bleed like this shit was cut. You ain't gotta go out there. It's from the gut. I'm gonna tell you the truth and give you proof, and I got receipts, and I'm gonna put that shit on repeat. I'm gonna help you find a job for you and your fam. That's the way I got to be, because how I am, and everything is gonna be all right. You're gonna get this job tomorrow. You be working the night, and everything is gonna be okay. You're going to work all night and maybe every day, and everything is going to turn out fine. Yo, I got my own jobs. You got mine. It's fine. Everything is going to be on time. Yo, make sure you get there on time and let the sun shine. Yo, you keep making sure that you keep striving like you got a brand new car you're driving and you're surviving, all bread and water, or lobster and steak. Yeah, that's just my take. Yo, you ain't gotta make a whole lot, but if you work hard, then you should make a whole lot, God. Yo, where you starting, where you finish. Don't let your dreams go out like a sucker and diminish. Don't let nobody take away your ambition. You gotta do this shit. It's your life's mission. I'm fishing for a better way to make a couple of dollars. I'm gonna make sure that just like the scholar, I holler at my boss. I'm gonna be my own boss, guys. They pay the cost to be your own boss, yo. And you gotta have 100 people bringing you $1,000 a day. Yeah, that's a hell of a way to keep the stacks and stacks and stacks, and you ain't gotta do the whole lot of shit and break backs. You ain't working for the mob. You ain't doing no illicit kind of crazy shit. What is it then? Entry level. Yo, it's not the devil. Somebody gotta start something. Keep it pumping. Keep it moving. Yo, having a lot of money on your pocket, it keeps you soothing because you can pay your bills. You might have other things going out, but showcase your skills and everything is going to turn out right. And this is going down on Wednesday night. And I know that it's Thursday around 4, but we did this shit, and I hope that it helps more. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. So make sure that y'all come on through. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Appreciate my man Omar coming through. We got 3 Omars in here. We got Omar Thompson. What up? And me. So Omar's rocking out on the Daily Go Get Him Business Show. That's a good look. All right. Stacey White, I see you. Oh, Lord. All right, man. Thanks for coming through, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. I will get back with y'all. Have a good night. Be safe. 2025, y'all. 2025, y'all. Let's make it happen. Peace.